welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Darrell.
And today we're going to preview two fights. We've got Robert Guerrero and Guerrero-Martinez on PBC. I think that's on NBC. Yep, on NBC. And then we got a big fight. We got Miguel Cotto defending the WBC middleweight title against Guerrero-Geale. Cotto also possesses the lineal middleweight title. He is the middleweight champion of the world at the moment. This fight's going to be at 157. Once we get to that actual fight, I will say a little bit more about that. But first, we're going to start with Martinez and Guerrero. Take it away, Rob.
Someone's getting hit. Martinez, rugged, tough Mexican guy.
Mexican guy lives in California.
And then we got Robert Guerrero.
Same thing.
Same thing, but he's been around the block for everyone, for the who's who of 147, and he skipped over 140.
Yes.
And at 35. So I expect him to come out and make a good showing, because he lost his last fight versus Keith Thurman, and before that he fought. No, his last fight was versus Keith Thurman. He lost to Keith Thurman, so this is
his last fight was against Yoshihiro Kamagai.
And Kamagai, which it was a lot, not a punishment, but it was a lot of punches thrown. And I actually think it's going to look a little bit like that one, but him looking a little bit better and a little bit more polished than that fight. This fight is to get him, some work, to get him back onto, fighting those top 10 guys again, maybe challenge for a belt or in an eliminator. So expect a really good fight. Showcase-ish.
Showcase all the way.
All the way, but we know
they say, hey, you did so good fighting Keith Thurman, even though you didn't win, we got to get you back on TV. And that's what this fight is all about.
That's right.
Getting Robert Guerrero back on TV. And I don't mind that at all, because Robert Guerrero's been in some good fights. So I'm going to watch it. And
then on that undercard, you're going to have Vic Darchinyan versus Jesus Cuellar. Someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah, probably Vic. And I love Vic Darchinyan, but man, yeah, I think it's a wrap for him.
And I believe, who did I say? Was it Alfredo Angulo?
Yeah, I doubt that's televised.
Yeah, but they'll probably touch on it, show a highlight or two. And Dominic Brazil, who was on the 2012 Olympic team at super heavyweight. Moving on, let's go on to Cotto-Geale.
Yes, Miguel Cotto, Guerrero-Geale, 157. There has been a lot of talk about the catch weight in this fight, and there's a few things I want to touch on about that. Because one, both Geale and his promoter Gary Shaw have been bitching about it. Sorry about the what some people consider about a bad word. But they've been doing a lot of complaining about the catch weight being 157. And Guerrero-Geale saying it's hard enough for him to make 160. Why'd you sign a contract?
If it was a problem, I mean, obviously they've offered you not only on HBO, but enough money that you signed a contract to get down to 157.
Right. So don't complain about it. Like, hey, you signed up for this. Do it.
Now, you're good, very good fighter.
Yes, Guerrero-Geale is a very good fighter. I was going to touch on all of that stuff after I got that out of the way. But, this isn't the first time we've had that happen, and then you have a lot of fans complaining about it as well, like this is something new. Catchweight fights have been around since probably the beginning of boxing, when they started, regulating it. So it's nothing new. I mean, a lot of fighters have done it, even going back to the Ray Robinsons and all of them. They had catchweights as well. Ray Leonard won the super middleweight and light heavyweight title at a catchweight. Didn't Bernard Hopkins and De La Hoya fight at a catchweight as well?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean it's happened. Bernard Hopkins fought Winky Wright at a catchweight. I think Roy and Felix fought at a catchweight. There's plenty of catchweight fights. It happens. Get over it.
Yeah, it happens.
Now, as far as the fighters and their skill sets, we've seen Miguel Cotto. We've seen him for years at 140, 147, 154, now 160. We know what he brings to the table. We know he has a killer left hook to the body. He has a killer left hook, period. His right hand has come along. His ability to box has gotten better as he's gotten older. Geale, is going to bring a different challenge, being that he's a big middleweight. Like he said, he has trouble making 160 in the first place. He's actually a lot slicker than people give him credit for.
That's right.
He has okay hand speed, but he has good placement, and he has very good timing.
And he's not afraid to let his hands go.
That too. And also what I really like about him, he gets angles. He will get those angles on you, and he will punch and turn you and punch again. I love that. He's gonna need all of that to beat Cotto. He might be able to get some late rounds in, but as the two adjust, I probably think that Cotto will win those early rounds. Cotto has the faster hands. He's going to be the hometown guy. It's around the Puerto Rican Day Parade time. They're in New York, which has a large Hispanic population, large Puerto Rican population. Daniel Geale is from Australia. It's a long way from New York City. But he does have the capacity to make a good showing. He was having success against Gennady Golovkin before he was knocked out. And I mean, that was one of those things where that was just the skill of Golovkin overcame the skill of Geale.
And the power.
Well, yeah, the power, because Geale landed a flush right hand, and he actually beat Golovkin to the punch, landed first. He did everything he was supposed to do, just Golovkin hit him back, and hit him back real hard. So he came back, he fought Jared Fletcher, got a good decision off that, dropped Fletcher as well in that fight. And now we're here. I think that if Geale can stay on his feet, I think he can. I want to say Cotto has power, but I'm not really sure at middleweight, because he did hurt Sergio Martinez, but Sergio Martinez kind of is a small middleweight as well. He was injured, and you want to give him the credit, but then you kind of like want to see him do more. So now he has a real middleweight in front of him, and we get to see if that power has really come up from 140. He's a long way from the 140-pound division right now.
Exactly. I mean, to me, Daniel Geale is going to provide what a lot of boxing trainers, aficionados, whoever watch boxing, some truth serum for Miguel Cotto.
Yes.
Because, like you said, not only is he a real size middleweight, but he's a big middleweight. This is Cotto's first real middleweight. Yeah. And not only that, but he took that title and that lineal title from a guy who had long layoffs, he's always had knee problems, and a guy who was older. He was what, 30?
He's in his late 30s. He's like 38, 39.
Yeah, so did he take advantage of a guy who wasn't fully healthy, was older and on his way out and breaking down, or did he just beat him? Now, I like Sergio Martinez. I think he exceeded expectations exponentially with what he's done. He's got some good wins, he made some great money, had a good impact on that division. And he just ran into a guy in Cotto who just was coming there to make a statement. He reworked some things that he was already good at and brought something back when he went under Freddie Roach. But I give him full credit for the win. I give full credit to Martinez for stepping in the ring with him. But again, this is some truth serum. Is that win as big as we want to make it out to be? Yeah. Or when he starts fighting guys like Geale, if he fights Quillen, if he fights Andy Lee, middleweights.
Yeah.
And then Golovkin, we'll see. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, if he wins this fight versus Geale, there is a verbal agreement to fight Canelo Alvarez, which again will probably be at a catch weight, probably 155 or 156. Something not too big, too high. But if you ask me, Canelo will still come to that fight as the bigger man.
Yeah. Going back to him and Geale, or I guess him and Martinez, I think it's a combination of both. Because we know Cotto is a damn good fighter.
Oh yeah,
certified Hall of Fame, all the way. Sergio Martinez probably will make the Hall of Fame as well. So you got a really good fighter going against another really good fighter who kind of happened to be on his way out.
That's right.
So it's probably a little bit of both. But like you said, like you reiterated many times, this is going to be Cotto's. This is a real test for Miguel Cotto. And a lot of people are writing Daniel Geale off, and they shouldn't. So if Miguel Cotto runs through Daniel Geale, it's for real.
That says a lot. And of course, there'll still be those detractors saying it was a 157, not the full-fledged 160.
And Gennady Golovkin did it already. That doesn't matter. Miguel Cotto has to do it. And if he does it, he needs to get his props. Then he'll go fight Canelo.
Which will probably be the, aside from, say, Amir and Kell Brook in England, the biggest fight that can be made right now
probably in the entire sport.
In the entire sport after, of course, the one we already saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that one's over. We're not even talking about that one.
That's right.
So yeah, that's it. I think Cotto's going to win a decision. He's going to win enough early rounds, and he has this thing he does where he kind of like stalks a guy, and if they don't wilt completely by like the 5th round, he starts to move a little bit more. I think that's what's going to happen. And
utilize that jab.
Right. And Geale's going to win some of those late rounds, and then Cotto's going to be able to steal enough of those late rounds to get a 8-4, 7-5 type decision and move on to fight Canelo.
But watch Cotto, if he starts getting on his toes, jumping back and forth, you know, really feeling it, then you see that he's about to go into attack mode and he feels really confident in there.
Yeah, if Geale goes into survival mode, then we'll get Stalker Cotto the entire fight, like we saw with Martinez. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Geale's going to be able to survive and have some success against Cotto and make it a good fight. I think this is going to be a good fight. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like it, thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, catch the rest of our videos, like the recap to this fight and others. You can follow us on Facebook, Capital of Combat, Google+, same name. You can hit us up on our email, capitalofcombat@gmail.com. Any questions you have, you can hit the comment section or any of those avenues that I just mentioned, and we can get you in the combat mailbag. That's it. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.